Ethiopia, as the civil unrest and political crisis in Ethiopia continues to worsen further. In the latest turn of events, US has now called the reports of Eritrean military involvement in the conflict in Tigray region to be credible. However, both Eritrea and Ethiopia have constantly denied the claims of any such military involvement. A State Department spokesperson during a statement said that US is aware of credible reports of Eritrean military involvement in Tigray and views this as a grave development, and urged the troops to withdraw from the region immediately. Earlier this week, US authorities claimed that Eritrean soldiers had crossed into Ethiopian territory to help Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed's government battle the rebellious northern Tigray force. Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed won a Nobel Peace Prize last year for making peace with Eritrea. Experts suggest presence of Eritrean troops on Ethiopian soil, sparking tensions with the Western allies and further worsening the ongoing crisis. Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed last week said that federal troops had retreated into Eritrea earlier in the conflict and were given assistance by the authorities. This, as most of the claims made are difficult to verify because of large-scale communication blackout in the region. Ethiopian Prime Minister and Eritrean President signed a peace pact ending 2 decades of hostilities in 2018 and now regard the Tigray People's Liberation Front as a mutual foe. Meanwhile, the Tigray forces have accused the Ethiopian government of discrimination and marginalization since its coming into power. For more details, let's quickly go across to WION's correspondent Coletta Vanjohi, who's joining us live from Addis Ababa. Coletta, thank you for joining our broadcast today. Now, Washington views Ethiopia as a major ally in the volatile Horn of Africa, but accuses Eritrea, on the other hand, of severe rights abuses. Will the latest reports prove to be a policy issue for the United States?
Well, with the reports from the United States and them saying, and the State Department there saying that it has credible sources, the Ethiopian government still refuses and denies and says Eritrea has not helped Ethiopia in any way in the military offensive that it launched on 4th November. On the other hand, the Eritrean government has also denied and said it did not participate. Well, it's hard to verify, but we know that the Tigray region where the military offensive was launched is right at the border between Ethiopia and Eritrea, and we have seen the TPLF, which is the political outfit out there that is being that the government has been fighting through missiles into Eritrea. And when they did that, that was in November. They said that was like a warning to Eritrea not to interfere in the war or in the conflict which was between the northern region and the Addis Ababa government. So what we have are allegations, hard to verify, but now with the State Department in the US saying it has credible sources without the government of Ethiopia saying that's true or the Eritrean government saying that's true, then we're just left with somebody saying something against the other.
Right. Coletta, with reports being refuted, as you rightly pointed out, it's also important to highlight the fact about the evolving relationship between Ethiopia and Eritrea. How have Ethiopia-Eritrea ties evolved in the past 2 years after Prime Minister Abiy took office in 2018?
Well, part of the reasons why Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize was because of him extending an olive branch to Eritrea, because there had been, for over 2 decades, the two countries had never seen eye to eye. They were sworn enemies. That was after their fighting in around 1991, where Eritrea went their way, Ethiopia went its way. And when Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed came in 2018, he even went to Eritrea, which was something that was really historical, just to show that he really wanted the peace with Eritrea. That was credible. We saw a lot of Eritreans who had fled to Ethiopia and a lot of Ethiopians who had relatives in Eritrea now moving. People could move. So, but what we have right now is the borders are closed, land borders, but people can still fly, can still go in by air transport. So it is a relationship that we've seen Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed building. We've seen President Isaias Afwerki visiting Ethiopia several times,
right,
with them saying that they are coming for bilateral relations. So it is a relationship that both heads of state are developing.
Right. Also, Coletta, communication is down in the region at the point. Also, a UN team that attempted to approach the refugee camps earlier this week was shot at, and the areas remain off limits for aid agencies. What does such a scenario mean for the refugees?
Well, obviously, if in a situation where the UN humanitarian agency cannot go in because it's about time now, it's about going in timely and giving the basic needs timely, then we have an issue. We have close to 100,000 Eritrean refugees being hosted in the northern region. The UN says they need basic needs. The UN has reiterated that it needs unfettered access into the Tigray region. The government has said it can only offer, access through the government. So that means the UN should go through the government, and the government has said, the government of Ethiopia says it has experience in dealing with IDPs and refugees. But the UN, we are seeing, is a bit skeptical on this whole thing and is a bit disappointed because an agreement that it signed with Ethiopia has not heeded a lot of water yet and has not held water yet, and it's still pushing to get access. So it is a situation whereby the hospitals inside there's an issue of deprivation of or lack of enough medical medication, lack of enough basic needs, and the UN keeps saying that they need access. But on the other side, Ethiopia says it must control what kind of access the UN has inside there, because as the government says, Ethiopia is a sovereign state. It cannot just give full control to the UN just because the UN wants it.
Right. That's also another point of discussion, why the authorities are so skeptical of the UN presence. We'll talk more about that perhaps at a later time. Thank you so much, Coletta, for joining our broadcast and bringing in your inputs.